I just want to say before we hop into it to leave a like and comment. What do you guys think of Master Duel? I personally like the game a lot, and I make a lot of content around it. But let me know what you guys think. What is up, guys? We got a different type of video today. We're gonna look at the Steam reviews for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Now, I really like this game. It got me back into Yu-Gi-Oh!, which always happens every few years. I leave, come back, leave, come back. You know how it is. So I've always been like kind of adjacent to Yu-Gi-Oh! Always kept up with a little bit of what's going on, any new mechanics that go on, just kind of learn about it. But with the introduction of Master Duel, you got a lot of new people who they've played, you know, when they were kids. They got a Blue Eyes deck, they got a Dark Magician deck, and they didn't really know how to play. And then they get introduced to this new game, and they're like, "Wait, I'm getting bopped. I don't know what's going on." And some of these guys, they do leave valid reviews. Some of these guys, they're just scrub quotes. Honestly, just scrub quotes. You can't hide it. But let's kick it off with the first review that says, flip coin, lose coin flip, opponent goes first, opponent draws their whole deck in one turn and wins Master Duel. Well, yeah, I mean, that happens. I think that was a big problem in the earlier metas as opposed to this, and this meta as well. Going first was super powerful. I forgot which master rule, but they changed it where you can't draw when you go first, and that kind of nerfed going first. And I think at that time, I think it was like perfect because you could go first or second, and sometimes it was even more valuable, and it was better to go second than to go first because you had that extra resource and you could attack first. So let's go ahead to the next one. Writing this review because my opponent still hasn't finished their turn yet. And that's pretty true, honestly. Sometimes you have this guy, he's comboing, or the connection is just terrible. So if I don't want to play a card, it takes 5 minutes. I myself have taken 8-minute turns just trying to summon out my big monster card. And I think this is a combination of the problem of Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself, of having combos in the game, and also the connection issues of it taking forever for the server to be like, hey, yeah, this guy just played a card. Or also some guys, they don't know what they're doing, and they have to read every single card just to know what the effects are and what they actually want to do. And all right, let's check out the next one. What the hearts is a pendulum summon? So this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier. So you get people who, they don't really know Yu-Gi-Oh! After a certain point, and like anything else is, I don't know what this is. I lost interest with pendulum summons when they were first introduced. It was a mechanic I didn't want to get into because I was like, I already bought these cards. I had just got into Synchro Summon and Exceed Summon, and I like those mechanics. And now you're adding pendulum summon, and this essentially broke the game. For me, at least. And I was like, I don't want to spend more money on this. And there was no digital online game like Master Duel or similar that didn't kind of get hit eventually by the Konami cops. So I was just like, yeah, I think I'm done for now. I'm good with pendulum summon. Now there's link summoning too, and there's co-linking and all that stuff. And the arrows mean something. I'm still not even 100% what link summoning does. I just have the basics, not necessarily the most advanced knowledge of link summoning. And that's for someone who kept up. All right, let's hop into the next one. Person took my cool card and turned it into an anime girl. This will not go unpunished. Yeah. This guy, I guess he just lost his card. He had what happened to Kaiba, and his card got turned into a tune or something like that. And yeah, this was pretty funny when I thought I'd throw this one. So this one's actually a legitimate review. First time playing Yu-Gi-Oh! The game does a good job explaining the basics. I'd say it's extremely fair with its P2W mechanics. You can easily build 3-4 decks without spending money. Solo mode has a good amount of content if you don't want to play competitive, which unfortunately is all there is. Game still needs a quick play option. Besides rank, Konami seems to be updating the game almost daily. However, so for now, I wouldn't worry about lack of content. It's not as fancy looking as Magic the Gathering, but it's probably the best Yu-Gi-Oh game right now. And I'd like to say, yeah, it's pretty fair. I know when Duel Links first came out, Duel Links was like, I want to make a Yu-Gi-Oh game that doesn't have all this fancy pants mechanics. But then as the Duel Links meta went on, all you had were like, summon all my cards, do all this. Plus you have Destiny Draw and all that other stuff, all those other mechanics. And I'd say it got to a point where it was pretty much Yu-Gi-Oh! With 3 cards instead of 5 cards. And it didn't really, I personally didn't like it. But this guy is saying that it does a good job of explaining all the mechanics. I disagree a little bit for that one. It does the basic mechanic. I'm still not familiar with how the pendulums work in this format as opposed to when it was first introduced. I believe it was like Master Rule 3 or 4, I don't remember, where they made it so you can only pendulum summon monsters from your extra deck that a link arrow is pointed to or something. I don't even know. But it was something like that. And as for the pay to win, you don't really have to pay. I have yet to put $1 into mine. I've built about 3-4 decks, maybe 5-ish. Not fully, but at least 4 or 5 of them are full. And I think that's pretty good. They do, however, lose. You do lose a lot of that first time player gems after like the first 2 weeks because you get 20 gems per signing in, and that's nothing. That takes you a week to get 1 pack. But with the introduction of the festival, I think I've gotten like 3,000 gems. That's like 3 10 packs. That's 30 packs. So yeah, I'd say this is pretty fair. And looks, I never cared about graphics. I mean, if you're playing with the cards, like, well, it's way better than just playing with plastic, or not plastic, playing with cardboard cards. So this next one, unbalanced as hearts, lots of cheaters, pay to win, low gains of in-game currency in order to force you to pay with real money, most important, toxic community. I don't know what this guy's talking about, but he does make some points. The good points, yeah, low in-game currency. That was a problem before the introduction of the XC's festival. That gave you a lot of gems, but after I think maybe halfway through, the amount of gems you get from that festival does go down a lot. Cheaters, I've never once ran into a cheater. I may think, if I could infer, this guy's talking about guys who are playing top tier decks that's stunning you from playing your deck and you lose. And you can't really call them cheaters just because they're playing a specific deck. Just because you're playing low tier doesn't mean everyone else has to play low tier. Just because they're playing top tier doesn't mean everyone else has to play top tier. If you're playing low tier, hold that. You chose to make that low tier deck. You chose to put Jerry Beansman in your deck. You chose to put Frogger Jam in their deck. They could have done it. You could have done it. Anyone has access to the same amount of cards. That's on you. But and also, as far as you're forced to play with real money, I don't think that's true, because you could probably at least craft the cards, and I think the crafting mechanic was really did it for me, because I could craft cards that I needed or I wanted and make the deck that I want. And I think that was the mechanic for me, at least, instead of just grinding out cards. And I have 5 copies of Frog the Jam, and it's like, what am I gonna do with 5? I can only play 3, so there's no need to have 5. And you can, deconstruct them and make new cards. And I think that's the last one we have. Thank you for watching. This is a very different type of video for me, at least. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you like the video. Thanks for watching.